right in front of her ex. So I'm gonna make it uncomfortable, and I'm gonna see if she's gonna flirt right back in front of him, because then if she still has something, there.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Blackbird 91. We're talking to you, about Curtis and whether Curtis Clifton and whether him testing the ex through touching the Kia is something that is possessive or triggering or something else. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into that subject. So if you're new to the channel, do me a massive favor, like it, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. Stay hydrated because the streets out there are hot. All right, let's get into this particular video and talk some more. So really and truly, I'm looking at a situation with Clifton, and when he mentioned about the fact that he was flirting with the Kia just to see if the ex would move, I totally understand what he was saying, but I don't agree. And I'll tell you why I don't agree. I don't agree because when you begin to go into active participation of testing someone, right, by touching your partner, or etc., to see if your ex would move, you're moving into a very dangerous, manipulative area, right? I totally understand observing. I even understand asking a question, right? You ask a question and you trust the response that you're getting. But if you start now trying to test the individual person by, touching your current partner, trying to flirt with her to see what the ex would do, you're already screaming some insecurities, which then lends itself back onto the conversation around possessiveness because of the situation earlier on when he got called jealous with Joy, right? And not only did he say that, he said the comment that he made about he should have flirted with Kia. He actually said, I should have also flirted with Joy to see Wagwan. This method of testing to find out whether the ex is still feeling or not, bro, is erroneous. It's going to lead you to other kinds of testing during the course of the relationship too. You will do other things that you will test to see what they're going to do. You don't want to be in a position in a relationship where you're testing your partner at different points to see what they're going to do, because that is a clear, sure sign of distrust. And if your partner ever finds out, they are going to feel sickly. They're going to feel um, untrusted. They're gonna feel like, manipulated, because now what you're doing is not authentic. So you were doing things to push them into a certain arena and test them. No, no. We don't want to be in a position of testing people. We saw this with Ola in Mad at First Sight, where he tried to test Katina to see if she would speak up. That is a form of molding the person, or a form of even trying to create the person into the person that you want them to be. And we're not in the business of forcing people to be something that they are not, right? And also, not only that, when you look at this situation with Clifton, the key wasn't even his first choice. So the mere fact that he's actually really trying to unnerve the ex speaks to me about being very much triggered by exes in general. Now we know that obviously he has, I think, two baby mothers as well, due to obviously the past relationships and them failing, and obviously he said those relationships failed because of him, which is really interesting because he never really mentioned what the failure was. I know he mentioned with AP earlier on. He also said the same thing, like, he made some mistakes. Now he's saying obviously the failure of the relationship was because of him. What did you do? That's what we want to know. What did you do? Okay? Because you're saying you made some mistakes. What did you do? That's what we need to know. Okay? If we can get that understanding, we can maybe get a bit more of a better picture. Because if you were a big contributing factor to the failure of that relationship, i.e., cheating, abusive behavior, emotional abuse, manipulation, whatever, dark arts, what you want to call it, if you were involved in a relationship in that particular format, then we're going to look at you differently, right? And we have to. We have to take account of the information you provided us, and then look at also these scenarios with Joy and with the Kia really differently. I personally didn't like it. The fact that when I watched it, he's putting his arm on her leg. He's basically forcing the whole narrative. And actually, what it's you're sending a signal that you like the Kia, but really and truly, all you're really showing is pretentiousness, because you don't really feel that way. You don't really like her in that way. So therefore, all you're doing now is not a true representation of you and how you feel about her. It's like testing too is just one of those things. It's so asinine and benign, and it's so young-minded of somebody who's insecure and not secure in themselves. I've always said this. Listen, of course, I have dark hearts. Look, we've all lived a life of the past, and when you have done mad things like cheated on partners, got with exes, stole someone else's girlfriend, someone else, it's going to cause you an emotional scarring that's going to make sure that you will probably look at your partner some way, right? Of course, it should make you smarter, and it should make you more aware that certain answers should then be like, I don't think you're ready for this or whatever. But when you have to start testing, oh, okay, do you know what? Yeah, because I don't trust people now. I got to test you and make. Darian from Put a Ring on It said the exact same thing. I got to test you and make sure. Why are we testing people? Just don't believe them, right? You should see by their behavior. You should see by what they say. You should watch how their actions and their words have been matching up the last few weeks. Testing them should not be the one. Oh, let's see what she does. Right? The test that you want is you paying attention, you listening, you gathering information, not putting them into a freaking observation cubicle and testing them with different with different treatments, as if they're different experiments, as if they're a hamster on a wheel. That's not respecting your partner on a level. By all means, like I said again, you can assess, you can observe, you may even see a criteria checklist in your mind. But yeah, that was concerning. Very, very much concerning. I was just trying to see if there's anything. The another comment that was made, the blood in, blood out situation. Let's have a look at that. I wanted to bring that up as well, because if I take that into context, then I can see why this comment could be a little bit of some way. Okay, let's just bring this around. Let's go here. There we go.
Someone has to actually die. You know what I mean?
Sounded a
If
little
you want to
morbid.
be out, like it's blood in, blood out.
Got
Walking
it.
out.
Tell me how.
Now, it definitely was a joke. It definitely was a joke. But I think jokes also have elements of truth in it, a very large percentage of truth in it. And so he really means it like, look, blood in, blood out, not necessarily blood in, blood out, but more of a case of, you know what, my next relationship, if we're going to be doing this, there is no exits, there's no outs. It's just me and you. And yeah, I agree. I mean, we've all made that kind of comment before. Maybe not blood in, blood out. We've all said, this is my last comment. It's my last relationship. I'm not doing this again. Da, da, da. We've all been there, right? Saying that I'm not doing it again. And often when we say that, it's because we've been hurt. Often when we say that, it's because we've been hurt and we don't want to be hurt again. And we don't know how much we can take in terms of being hurt once more again. And so I think that will comment, even though it's a joke, I think it's coming from a hurt place. I think there's some things that have happened to him in the past that are still haunting him. And that's why I think the assessment of the ex by Joy's date was kind of correct. He's a risk right now, right? As much as we're seeing such a great Clifton, amazing Clifton, there seems to be some risks attached to climbing Clifton, Mount Clifton. There seems to be risk attached to it. So, you want to be cautious about approaching that. So for me, watching him with the Kia, I wasn't a big fan. The fact that he was trying to be territorial with the ex, but even though the ex wasn't necessarily, this particular ex as well with the Kia wasn't necessarily being hostile, but she was giving hostile energy, right? Very similar to the Joy situation one, right? I kind of gave him a bit more of a blind because he wanted to ask a question. I get it. Ask a question. What's the relationship? What's the relationship between yourself and... Ask the question. See what the answer is. Okay, cool. Once you got your answer, move. But now he wanted to employ the test. It's almost as if what happened was, right? He thought about it, okay, after the Joy date. We don't know, actually. The Joy date might have been after, so I'm just going to take what they showed us. But it's almost as if he thought about it and then was like, yeah, after that date, what I should have done was I should have tested. All right, I'm going to do the same with... I'm going to make sure I do that with the Kia. Because he said, oh, do you know what? I should have done it with Joy. But why should you have done it with Joy? Why? Why go so far to prove a point? If you go so hard looking for something, you're probably going to end up finding something, right? So let us know your thoughts down below. What do you think? Possessive or triggered? I definitely think he's more triggered than possessive. I think he's got a lot of work to do in that area of being triggered, though, because it definitely affects his behavior in a major way. So let us know your thoughts. Well, like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification uploads. We appreciate you guys. Stay locked and stay loaded. We appreciate you. Little black